Welcome back to the Blood Bear channel. In this video, we will be continuing our journey through the book of Genesis. We are on chapter 13, I believe. So yeah. And I guess like normal, I do implore you to go and set the Bible yourselves, as I think you'd get more out of it that way instead of just listening to me talk about it. But yeah, anyways, that said, I guess we should go ahead and just jump on into the chapter. It's a bit shorter, I think, than usual, although I think most of the chapters in Genesis aren't actually that long. Especially, we'll see later, but we have some decently long chapters that are at least 30 verses long. Whereas this one, I think, it's just 18 verses. So a bit on the shorter side. Anyways, chapter 13, here we go. So Abram went up from Egypt to Negev with his wife and everything he had, and Lot went with him. Abram had become very wealthy in livestock and in silver and in gold. From the Negev he went from place to place until he came to Bethel, to the place between Bethel and Ai, where his tent had been earlier, and where he had first built an altar. There Abram called on the name of the Lord. Now Lot, who was moving about with Abram, also had flocks and herds and tents, and the land could not support them while they stayed together, for their possessions were so great that they were not able to stay. They were not able to stay together, and quarreling arose between Abram's herders and Lot's. The Canaanites and the Perizzites were also living in the land at that time. So Abram said to Lot, Let's not have any quarreling between you and me, or between your herders and mine, for we are close relatives. Is not the whole land before you? Let's part company. If you go to the left, I'll go to the right. If you go to the right, I'll go to the left. Lot looked around and saw that the whole plain of the Jordan toward Zoar was well watered, like the garden of the Lord, like the land of Egypt. It says in parentheses here, this was before the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. So Lot chose for himself the whole plain of the Jordan and set out toward the east. The two men parted company. Abram lived in the land of Canaan, while Lot lived among the cities of the plain, and pitched his tent near Sodom. Now the people of Sodom were wicked and were sinning greatly against the Lord. The Lord said to Abram after Lot had parted from him, Look around from where you are, to the north and to the south, to the east and west. All the land that you see I will give to you and your offspring forever. I will make your offspring like the dust of the earth, so that if anyone could count the dust, then your offspring would be counted. Go, walk through the length and breadth of the land, for I am giving it to you. So Abram went to live near the great trees of Mamre, or however you pronounce that, at Hebron, where he pitched his tents, where he built an altar to the Lord. There he built an altar to the Lord. Anyways, that's that chapter. Like I said, very short. It's only 18 verses long. So yeah, there's that. Anyways, I guess that's that chapter. So I guess we'll talk about kind of what I was ascertained, I guess, from the chapter, which, isn't much. It's basically just, mainly just look how much the Lord has blessed Abram and Lot, pretty much, and his family. He's got massive amounts of livestock. He's very rich in silver and gold, and this is all while he's just traveling around, going from place to place, pretty much, in search of where God has told him to go, pretty much. Anyways, and I just think it's kind of funny how he gets blessed with all these riches from God, and then because he gets so blessed with all of that riches, it becomes a problem, because he's just him and Lot just have so much stuff that they physically, I don't think they could be together. I mean, their herders are fighting, but like also, if you have a flock as massive as what it seems like they're saying it is, like the fields would be gone. The sheep and livestock would just eat all the grass, and you'd be like, it's just like devastation in their wake, you know. Which I think is kind of funny, you know. God blesses him so much that it becomes a problem. So yeah, then they have to part ways. And it also mentions that, you know, the herders are starting to get into conflict, and I think this, if they decided to stay together, the herders getting into conflict would then turn into Abram and Lot getting into that same conflict there, and being like, look, keep your sheep away from mine. And then, like, eventually they would have probably parted ways, but I think it's better, what this is trying to teach us is that it's better to part ways on good terms than it is to stay in contact with, you know, somebody that you're, that's, like, close to you, so, like, your friend or family member that you're constantly fighting with. It's better to separate yourself from them, recognize that, you know, they're your family or friend or whatever, but still separate, instead of letting that anger kind of fester, and then you'll eventually part ways anyways, but you'll hate each other afterwards instead of being on good terms and whatnot. So I think that's kind of the moral of that story there. Anyways, I keep saying anyways, I don't know why, because I guess I'm just moving on to the next thing here. Another thing that we see is Lot is being very selfish in this, or at least kind of selfish, because Abraham tells Lot, it's like, okay, our herds are too big, we should probably part ways. If you can choose where you go, I'll go the opposite direction. And then Lot looks around, he's like, where should I go? It's like, oh, there's a nice river right here that's full of lush greenery that I know I'll be able to water my massive herd on. I'll go this way. So he picks the way that's like well watered. You'll be able to support his people and his herd, which I mean is, you know, good leaderly choice. But it's just like he knows that Abraham's going to go like in the opposite direction, I guess. Well, I mean, not necessarily opposite, but going in a different direction. Because like if he's going opposite, then I guess Abraham could have just followed the river backwards, you know. But assuming that isn't the case, Lot chooses a well-watered path, and then Abraham goes wherever he goes. Obviously, it's fine because, you know, they got the Lord on their side pretty much. I think that's kind of, it's just, you know, a little selfish maybe just a little bit. Because like, yeah, it would be easier to, you know, water his flock that way, right? So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about it. It's a very short chapter, and it kind of, most of it is just about, well, I guess it's just about not showing off, but explaining how great wealth can also be a problem, I guess, as well. But I feel like that's most of it. You know, it's very short. We do see also, I mean, Sodom and Gomorrah are mentioned here for the first, I don't know if it's for the first time, but like how they were greatly sinning against the Lord, which will come up again later. As I'm sure if you're well versed in the Bible, you would know that Sodom does not fare very well in the future. Very much fire and brimstone. But it also says that kind of repeats that, like God kind of repeats that same thing that he told Abraham, like that, you know, his offspring will be like the dust of the earth, basically countless. He'll have countless offspring. And whenever I think God refers to offspring, he does refer to like lineage wise. So like it was kind of also the same with Adam, where he's like go forth and multiply, right? And so that he did, and now we're all descended from Adam, right? Every person. And then it's kind of saying the same thing here. It's like your offspring, meaning your entire lineage, is going to be like the dust, and it's going to be countless, basically. It'll go on forever. is also what he says. Because, yeah, he says, all the land that you see I will give to you and your offspring forever. So he says that, which is, pretty nice. But yeah, that's basically all I have to say about the chapter. So a little bit on the short side, but I would say that's fine. That's fine. Not every chapter is going to be the same size, right? So yeah, anyways, with that, I will see you in the next one. So, bye-bye.